And what I like to do is I've kind of developed this kind of acronym built on some of the design thinking techniques that you can kind of learn. It's SAVE, S-A-V-E is the acronym, right? And this is one of the most effective ways to do a lot of different types of meeting, but in particular a brainstorming or a kind of prioritization meeting. So the first thing is you do silent writing, right? So silent writing is basically you give everyone the topic that you want to talk about, and we're going to do this in a minute, right? You give them the topic, the question that you want asked, give them a stack of post-it notes and a Sharpie, and you set the timer, 3 minutes, say. And once you taught them how to use post-it notes, you're going to get different ideas on different post-it notes, okay? The great thing about silent writing, and it's exam conditions, no talking, right? I want your ideas, not the idea that you're talking about with your neighbour, all right? Or I don't want anybody to come in over the top of anybody else's ideas until we've all captured all of our ideas on a post-it note. Once they're on a post-it note, they're safe. They're not going anywhere. If they're still in here, they may never come out, but once they're on a post-it note, they're safe. Okay, so that's what you do. Ask the question, set the timer, people will just start writing. And it's your job to invigilate the thing and make sure that nobody's doing any talking. The second thing that you can do then is what's called affinity clustering. So people are going to have a little stack of the notes that they've got, or the ideas that they've come up with, and you're going to say, okay, Martin, will you bring yours up? So you bring it up, read it out, and you stick it up on the wall. Okay, and you'll have 3 ideas, bang, bang. Okay, and then Caroline, I'm going to get your ideas, and you're going to have 2 different ideas, but one of them's going to be the same as one of Martin's. Right, so that's where I'm going to put it. Right, and then Hilary, you're going to do the same. And what you do is you build up these affinity clusters of similar or related ideas that give you themes that you can then use for other things. And then what you can do is you need to prioritize the topics that need to be thought about in this particular area. You can use the little stickies, or you can use the Sharpies, and you give people a chance to vote for the most important. So if you've done your affinity clustering well, you might give a little title to each of the clusters that you've got, and then people can vote for which ones are the most important. And then you can use all kinds. You can turn that into a risk log, or into a plan. We're going to use some of these techniques as we go through. And then I needed an E. Execute. Brilliant. Right? So then there you've got a plan. Right? Who was it that wanted to figure out how to get started? Rachel. So turning the basics, the starting point, and giving you something which is the next thing to do. This is how you do it. Okay? So you're going to sit down with your team. You're going to do silent writing. You're going to ask the question. That's kind of a fairly good question. Actually, you can use a statement like, how might we da-di-da-di-da? Right? It's a really good way to start the question. How might we roll out the change to 20,000 people? Right? And then you're going to get the ideas. You're going to look for the affinity cluster. Then you're going to prioritize them. And then you as a project manager can just go and write that up. Now you've got a plan. Right? You've actually got the starting point of a plan, and all you've done is facilitate a meeting. So, very, very powerful. Okay, we've got some planning. So our next gift is planning poker.
James, can I just, sorry,
Yeah.
one question.